cost of living is at an all-time high. So how can we continue to eat well on a budget? One of the best ways to do this is to take store-bought items and make them at home. Now there are plenty of budget-friendly meal videos on YouTube, but there aren't many snack videos. So today, that's what we're doing. We are making high protein, high fiber, and delicious energy balls that are good for whoever you give them to. Good for the kids, good for yourself, good for anyone. And better yet, they are super budget friendly. So let's get straight into how to do that. Now, with the exception of the protein powder, all of these are regular pantry staples. The way this is going to work, we are going to make a master mix. This is our baseline, and you can customize it however you want. You can explore all different types of flavors. For this base mix, we're going to need some nuts of any kind. I'm using cashews today. Almonds will do, peanuts will do, Brazilian nuts will do. Any kind of nut that you have at home will be absolutely fine. I've got 1 cup of nuts here. On top of this, I'm going to be using some nut butter. I'm using peanut butter in this case. Again, you can substitute this for whatever you'd like. Cashew butter, almond butter, whatever type of butter you want, except for butter. Don't use that. If you are really trying to cut down on the calories, you can halve the amount of nut butter. Today, I'm using a cup, but if you want to cut down, half a cup, absolutely fine. To help bind everything together, I have 2 cups of rolled oats here. Now, I haven't done anything to these oats, but if you want, you can toast these beforehand. Doing that will bring out a whole bunch of extra flavor. I'm not going to do it today. The next ingredient here are chia seeds. These are packed full of healthy fats, omega-3s and omega-6 fatty acids. Now we're going to do something a bit different with these, so stay tuned. I've got some vanilla paste, totally optional, but I love vanilla. Also totally optional, but for a bit of extra sweetness, I've got 2 tablespoons of honey here. You can use natural sweeteners if you want, like honey, maple syrup. You can use artificial sweeteners as well in the right ratio, but today I'm just using honey. And lastly, some protein powder here. Now it is best to use flavorless, unsweetened protein powder here. They can become a bit too sweet if you use a sweetened protein powder, but this will bring stacks of protein for each energy ball. So I would highly recommend including this. If this isn't part of your diet, feel free to leave this out, but I'm going to be putting it in for today. Now the first thing that we'll be doing is grinding up the chia seeds. We do this for 2 reasons. The first of which, it helps our body absorb all of the vital nutrients that are found within chia seeds. And the second of which is when we grind these chia seeds down, they glue everything together. They absorb water really, really well. So I would highly recommend doing this. Now I'm doing this in a little coffee grinder. Link in the description if you're after one like this. And if you don't have one of these and you don't want to get one, totally fine. You don't need to grind up the chia seeds. They will work perfectly fine without. It's a step that I like doing though. So you can see now, this is a beautiful powder that's going to absorb water really, really well. It's going to work as a glue. It'll bring everything together and make these energy balls stick together a bit nicer. This recipe is super simple. We're going to do everything in a food processor. I'm first going to grind up these nuts, so let's put those in. We'll just pulse those. The goal is to grind these up, not too fine, but also not too small. We're going for about this consistency here. It's okay if there are a few big chunks in there. Next to the mix, we'll add our oats. We'll grind these up a bit as well. Again, this is what the texture is looking like now. It's looking nice and fluffy, but it's not super fine, so I haven't pushed this too far. And now we'll just add everything else. Protein powder, the chia seeds, our peanut butter, our honey, and our vanilla paste. All right, let's blend that up. Now the odds are this will get quite dry. So I've got a bit of water by my side here, and I'm just going to be adding that, and I'll show you what consistency we're looking for. You can see it's too dry at the moment. If I were to try and make a ball from that, well, it can be done, but it's just a bit too crumbly at this point in time. And we don't really want that. So I'm going to keep adding water to this mix. Now we don't want to add too much, so we'll just keep checking periodically to see what the texture's like. So it's all starting to come together now, which is great. You can see it's almost like a paste, but not quite. I can scoop a bit of this out and form a nice ball from it. You don't want to add too much water, otherwise it will become too sticky and almost like a paste. We don't want that at all. Now, if you do this, there is a fix. All you would need to do here is add a few more oats, and that should soak up that moisture. So and just like that, that is our master dough. And if you want, this can be the end of the recipe. You can roll this up into balls and away you go. These are delicious as is, but we can take that one step further, and I'll show you what I mean. Now I'll roll out a few of these balls here, but I will leave a good amount of this so that we can make different variations. You'll see what I mean. Now this mix is super sticky, so a really great tip, get some olive oil or any type of oil and rub that on your hands. Now your hands are non-stick. There we go. If you want to make these ultra fancy, I've just got some desiccated coconut here. You can put them in, roll them around, and there you go. That looks pretty good. I'll finish them off. Okay, so I've made 6 of these here. I'm going to set this aside. We'll come back to this in a moment. So again, this was our master dough. And from here, we can make a whole range of variations. You can put whatever you want into this dough. I'll show you how to do that now. So I've already made some basic normal ones. I'm going to take half of the mixture that remains and put that back into the food processor there. So let's say I really love dates, which I absolutely do. If you wanted a date version of these, all you'd have to do is put them in. I also really happen to love sesame seeds, so chuck them in. From there, we'll just blend it up. So it's done the rolling for me. Good sized energy ball right there. And then all that's left is to roll them up. Now, instead of desiccated coconut, I've got these soy protein crisps that I can use on the outside. So I've still got some mix here, so let's make another variation. Now let's say in a purely hypothetical world, you really love chocolate. Well, in it goes. Let's say I really like coconut as well. Well, that goes in there as well. Lid on, you know what happens next? Again, perfect size energy ball. For another really great topping, you can run your knife through some peanuts. So we've got chopped peanuts. Then we could take our energy ball and press those peanuts to the outside of that ball. Well, there you have it, a super quick, easy recipe. I honestly reckon that took about 20 minutes. And there's heaps of food here. If you wanted to double the batch, absolutely. But the best thing about this recipe, entirely customizable. You can put whatever you want in these. You can think about any toppings that you'd like. Other great options you could include in these, raisins, goji berries, other types of nuts, white chocolate chips, dark chocolate chips, dried apple, dried pear, you name it, you can put it in these. These look pretty good if you ask me. And quite frankly, I'm ready to give one of these a go. They are super good. From here, I would keep these in the fridge. They will chill down and become a bit more firm. These will keep in the fridge for about 2 weeks, but another great thing about these is these can freeze really well. They'll freeze almost indefinitely, but quite frankly, I don't think they'll make it to the freezer. These just taste too good. And look, if you're new here, consider subscribing. We make videos like this every week, and we've got plenty in the lineup. I also go through all the comments. If you have any tips, suggestions, or something you'd like me to cook, feel free to leave that in the comments. But seriously, make these, they are so good. Until next time, happy cooking.